And hello everybody, welcome on back to another episode of Assassin's Creed Revelations. We are picking up where we left off. This time, it's actually kind of fun to run through this. We didn't take any damage, we're good. It was kind of fun to run through the city and be like, oh wow. Because, they were right, things change once the army comes through. There's just a bunch of stuff going on and a bunch of people having bad times. But I actually haven't, for once, I didn't check how many sequences are in this game, so I don't know quite how far away from the end we are. Don't know what happened there with the sound effects, but okay, that's fine. But one of my favorite things when it comes to, environmental design is little things like this where it's like, they told you straight up that things were going to change, and then you get to this point and it's like, oh wow, you can see the changes that have actively been made, and not only that, but like getting to see the state of the world actually change as you progress through the story is just such a nice like addition to your storytelling. Because, like, to some degree, it was like, it might be a little underrated, because there's a lot of games that I'm sure you play, and then you go through a whole bunch of stuff, and they're like, yeah, nothing's really changed, though. Like, you don't feel like you've been a part of that world. It feels like the world is just kind of there sometimes. So I think, like, when it comes to designing something interesting game-wise, it's like, it's finding that right balance, because obviously you don't want the whole world to be, like, completely different every 5 seconds. We want enough that it feels like what you're doing actually like has an impact. At least for the most part with a lot of games, right? Because unless it's your purpose to be like you are nothing in this world, then it makes sense for the world to not really change. But in a game like this, like, Ezio is a very important character. Ezio's entire thing is just constantly influencing change in the world around him, so getting to see that actively like makes us as the player actually feel like we're doing something. So it's little things that I think about like that where, if I were to make an open world game, like give players, I think your best bet, give players a smaller space to work with. Because the larger space you go, yes, you can do some cool things with it, but it eventually ends up being overwhelming. And then at the end of the day, you end up, honestly, most of the time, you end up just going, now this is a walking sim from point A to point B before I can experience any more of the story. And not really everyone wants that, and I think a lot of people have figured out, like, that's not what they desire. Because I know I've been looking into it, and I think Assassin's Creed Mirage went back to the roots of, like, a smaller game area. I don't know anything about Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think that's the one that just came out. So, I was like doing a little bit of research, kind of figuring stuff out, but I think it's important to like look at the context of other games, especially in the same series or made by the same studio, that then kind of influence how you go through, your normal game. I think there's a lot of important things to learn as time goes on, Let's see. The exchange. That sounds promising, though, for the full sync objective to be to save her before she loses all of her health, or 50% of her health. Find your fellow assassins to ensure your safety during the exchange. Alright, Ezio. We can do this. We can save the girl. We can stop the Templars from being evil. Hi, guys. Hi, kids. You like violence?
Mentor?
Now should be a time for remembrance and mourning, I know. But our enemies do not permit us that luxury. Yusuf thought highly of you, assassin. And I find no reason to second-guess this judgment. Do you have it in your heart to lead these men and women, and to maintain the dignity of our order, as Yusuf did with such passion?
It would be an honor.
Bene, I am glad. Our enemy is close. Take positions around the tower, and wait for my command.
Something is wrong with the way that Ezio's voice is synced to his lip movement in that cutscene. But it was like the guy that we talked to that responded to us, it seemed like his stuff was synced fine, so I don't know. I really don't know what was going on, I'll be honest. Okay. Pop up here, pop up here.
Where is she?
I admire you, Ezio. But your bloodlust makes it hard to call you a friend.
Bloodlust. A strange insult from the man who ordered an attack on his own nephew.
He was to be kidnapped, Ezio, not killed.
I see. Kidnapped by the Byzantines, so that his uncle could rescue him and be heralded a hero.
More or less. Now, the keys.
First, the girl.
She's all yours.
Sophia!
Tell your men to back off. She's all yours.
Wow. Actually surprised that it was truthful. Because I'll be honest, I've seen enough of these situations where it's like, yeah, we give them the stuff, and then they still just kind of go, actually, on second thought, what if you go fuck yourself and then... Climbing, climbing. Call me Ezio the way that I'm climbing.
Dannazione!
تشكرler efendim. Çok teşekkürler.
Hold on, I'm coming, buddy. It's also funny though, because it would be a very me move to be like, wow, I'm surprised they didn't, and then it is. I'm just dumb. Especially because I knew she was gonna get hurt.
Not hurt, but very confused.
I did not mean to drag you into this. I'm sorry.
You're not responsible for the actions of other men.
All this will be over soon, but I need to recover what they have taken.
I do not understand what is happening, Ezio. Who are these men?
Run!
I just wanna run. I'm surprised it... I mean, I guess it makes sense if there's a load there. End of the road. Full sync killed 20 guards. Wow. Ezio just goes like hog wild in this then, huh?
Well, you have come to see me off.
More like I have come to off you. Uh-oh. I have forgotten everything about... Yeah, enjoy your rocks, asshole. Uh-oh. That would be a very me move to immediately run into rocks as I say that. One day I'll stop hitting my hands on literally everything that I can.
Hang on, Sophia!
Look out!
Uh-oh.
Ezio!
Well, here we go again.
Are you hurt, Sophia?
I don't think so.
Hold on!
Obviously.
Hold on. Ow!
Oh no!
I don't know what it is about me that makes me instinctively be like, ouch, every time I run into stuff like in a game.
Bene, I am all right.
Soldiers, up ahead!
I see them.
Oh my god, this is so cool though. Consider yourself lucky, punks.
Forgive me.
Oh
Sophia, you must be careful!
I know, I know.
no! Ezio hanging from the back of a moving chariot with a parachute and then just being like, be careful. It's so fucking funny. That's cool. That's so cool. Okay. Just being like, I'll hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker. That's my weapon of choice.
Faster!
Faster, baby, faster. Damn, baby, I can't do it that fast, but I know somebody who can. Oh god. The other day when I was working, I was talking to a coworker and they were describing something. They were like, you know, you kind of remind me of Kanye, and then they immediately were like, wait, no. Because they meant like some kind of like older Kanye, and I was like, wow, you really just like think nothing of me, huh? I was like, what would ever...
Keeping up some crap.
Ow! Ouch, ouch, ouch. I can't even remember what the original context was, but me saying that line from Kanye, Slow Jams featuring Twista.
Please move.
I guess it's actually... I don't know. I don't know who's the main one in that song is. It's like Twista and Jamie Foxx is on it, and Kanye's on it. I only know it because of NL.
Your determination would be charming if it was not so infuriating.
Ah, loser. Oh, come on. Like I said, it was just peak. Like, you know when someone says something and you're like, wow, okay. Even though it was like, they very clearly didn't mean it in a certain way, but it's just funny to take it like that. Okay, well, I don't know what you want from me. I'm trying my best. We did it. That's insane though, because I was like, so this means that like, this moment is absolutely canon. For like Ezio just being like, yeah, I just killed a lot of guys while parachuting from the back of a moving carriage.
You have been a thorn in my side, no doubt.
Wow! Go, Ezio, I'm fine.
Oh. Huh. Ow. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's what I was supposed to... Okay. I didn't realize I had the option to counter. Well. Nice little crash landing there.
So what now, Ezio? How does this end?
I am wondering that myself.
This does not look good for me, does it?
Soldiers! Selim is not your master! You serve the Sultan! You carry out his command alone! Where is he? Where is the Sultan?
He stands before you, brother. Father made his choice.
Selim! Stop! Please!
Oops.
So, you are the assassin. Ezio Auditore. I am Selim, Suleiman's father. He speaks quite highly of you.
He is a remarkable boy with a magnificent mind.
Were it not for his endorsement, I would have you killed where you stand. Leave this place. Do not return.
You did the right thing, Ezio. This is not your fight.
But where does one end and the next begin?
Ah, so true. It's like words of wisdom. True to even this day. Like... It's gonna bring me back to the island. Priorities. Priorities for life?
Bill, good to see you. Listen, we've got a customs officer waiting to talk to everyone.
I hope you have something for us.
Absolutely. Passports and papers for everyone.
Ah, brilliant. So I'm what? A neurosurgeon now, am I?
You're a medical team from SUNY Upstate. Just back from Rome with your patient. Experimental gene therapy.
Good work. Let's get this over with.
Wait, look! This is crazy!
What's wrong?
I'm not sure, but Desmond's brain is lighting up like a string of firecrackers.
Me when my dopamine finally gets activated. I'm given one simple reward.
Here it comes! What is that? What's going on?
This is the end, Desmond. Scheduled for deletion.
What are you doing?
What is a man but the sum of his memories? We are the stories we live, the tales we tell ourselves.
Don't do this.
I'm saving you, idiot! Go! Go!
I write
Well.
these lines with a steady hand and a light heart. We are in Nock right now, Sophia and I, with the 5 Masyaf keys in our possession, and all the time in the world. Sophia is a seasoned traveler and a fine companion to have so far from home. Tomorrow
That's
we
the
will make
dream,
our way
isn't
to
it, lads?
Masyaf, and once there, into Altair's library, to fulfill our father's forgotten dream. Forgive the shortness of this letter, dear sister, for it is late, and we are tired. Perhaps, with luck, the next words you hear from me will be in person. Con affetto, Ezio.
That's kind of crazy to think about, though, where it's just like, he has been doing this for so long at this point, because he started as, like, not a kid, but a kid, you know? I forget what age Ezio is in the first game, or well, Assassin's Creed 2, but... Let's go.
Such a climb. È così bello qui. This is where your order began?
It began thousands of years ago, but here it was reborn.
By the man you mentioned, Altair?
Altair ibn La'ahad. He built us up and set us free. He saw the folly of keeping a castle like this. It had become a symbol of arrogance and a beacon for all our enemies.
And the mandate for menacing hoods? Was that his idea as well? You
No,
mentioned
that
a creed
predates him.
before. What is it?
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
That is rather cynical.
It would be if it were doctrine, but it is merely an observation of the nature of reality. To say that nothing is true is to realize that the foundations of society are fragile, and that we must be the shepherds of our own civilization. To say that everything is permitted is to understand that we are the architects of our actions, and that we must live with their consequences, whether glorious or tragic.
Do you regret your decision to live as an assassin for so long?
You gonna answer, Ezio?
I do not remember making that decision. This life, it chose me. For 3 decades, I have served the memory of my father and my brothers, and fought for those who have suffered the pain of injustice. I do not regret those years, but it is time to live for myself, and let them go. Let go of all of this.
Then let go. You will not fall far.
The end of the road.
Alright.
What do you hope to find behind that door?
Knowledge, above all else. Altair was a profound man and a prolific writer. He built this place as a repository for all his wisdom. He saw many things in his life, learned many secrets, both troubling and strange. Knowledge that would drive lesser men to despair.
Does that worry you?
Sophia, you should know by now that I am not a lesser man.
Ezio.
So I wonder... Okay, so it's got to be, I think, this one then, right? Go boom, boom, boom. We go you, and then you. Yeah, easy. Look at me, best puzzle solver of all time.
You had better come out of there alive.
I plan to.
I really hope you're alive when we get back. Because after watching Altair have a kind of sad end, I was like, I want to have... I mean, he had a good ending, but also I was like, I want Ezio to have like a... I want him to have a good ending, you know? He deserves it. Also, so what? This only puts him, like, in his 50s, maybe? He's been doing it for 3 decades, and I was like, I would assume that means he was probably, like, in his 20s or so. Is this just Altair's body? You just vibing
No
in the chair?
books. No wisdom. Just you, fratello mio.
Wow.
Requiescat in pace, Altair. You have seen to my books.
Yes. Some we sent with the Polos. The rest will go with me to Alexandria.
Good. Very good.
Father, I do not understand. Why did you build a library if you did not intend to keep your books?
You should go. When the Mongols return, Masyaf must be empty.
I see. This is not a library at all. It is a vault.
It must stay hidden, Darim. Far from eager hands. At least until it has passed on the secret it contains.
What secret?
Go, son. Go be with your family. And live well.
All that is good in me began with you, Father.
What a cool way to go out, though, just to choose, like, this is where I die.
In much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
What does it tell you? What do you see?
Strange visions
Wow.
and messages of ones who came before, of their rise and their fall.
But what happens to us, Altair? To our family? What does the apple say?
Who were the ones who came before? What brought them here? How long ago?
Get rid of that thing!
This is my duty, Maria. Maria? If you are asked, say I sent the apple away. Tell them I sent it to Cyprus, or Cipango, or that I dropped it into the sea. Tell them anything to keep men away from this place. This apple must not be found. Not until the time is right.
Sit a moment and rest. Ugh. Also, it was like nothing's more like I'll be honest, so I am someone that when it comes to games, I do tend to run through things a lot. But nothing is like, this so genuinely does a good job of like making you feel the atmosphere of the moment, with just even like how slow Altair walks. Like he is in his old age, and it is like it is time to be done with this, you know? I love these, like, it is time to be done. That would be a pretty sick album cover, though, just the side view of him and Altair.
Another artifact. No. You will stay here. I have seen enough for one life.
Wow.
Desmond?
He's talking to me?
I heard your name once before, Desmond. A long time ago. And now it lingers in my mind, like an image from an old dream. I do not know where you are, or by what means you can hear me. But I know you are listening.
Wow.
I have lived my life as best I could, not knowing its purpose, but drawn forward like a moth to a distant moon. And here at last, I discover a strange truth. That I am only a conduit for a message that eludes my understanding. Who are we, who have been so blessed to share our stories like this? To speak across centuries. Maybe you will answer all the questions I have asked. Maybe you will be the one to make all this suffering worth something in the end. Now, listen.
Fuck. Actually, like, getting chills.
Do you hear me, Cypher? Can you see me? Ah, there you are. Good. A strange place, this nexus of time. I am not used to the calculations. That has always been Minerva's domain. I see you still have many questions. Who were we? What became of us? What do we desire of you? You will have your answers. Only listen, and I will tell you how. Both before the end and after, we sought to save the world. We built vaults within which to work, each dedicated to a different method of salvation.
Oh.
They were placed underground to avoid the war which raged above, and also as a precaution should we fail in our efforts. Each vault's knowledge was transmitted to a single place. It was our duty, mine, Minerva's, and Juno's, to sort and sample all that was collected. We chose those solutions which held the most promise and devoted ourselves to testing their merits. 6 we tried in succession, each more encouraging than the last, but none worked. And then the world ended.
Yeah, sometimes it be like that, you know? Doomsday. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, there's no sound because I had the music volume turned off because everything was getting copyright strike, or well, like flagged for copyright. So yeah, this is cool. We get to watch this without any real context of sound design. Also kind of interesting because it was like, so this implies that like whenever this happens, they're still further ahead like technologically. They have all these like futuristic buildings and whatnot. Oh, is this when like the original ending began? This is awful to watch with no sound, I'm sorry. Just just need to put like 30 Seconds to Mars blasting over this. Bury me, I am like just really just ruining all of the tension of how awful this is, but it's fine. Because I'm just sitting here in quiet with my own thoughts. My own cursed thoughts. Thinking about fucking 30 Seconds to Mars of all things. The earth shook for days, fires burned for weeks, and when the ash had settled, less than 10,000 of your kind still lived, and far fewer of ours, but we carried on together to rebuild, to renew. Listen, you must go there to the place where we labored and lost. Take my words, pass them from your head into your hands. This is how you will open the way, but be warned, much still remains in flux, and I do not know how things will end, either in my time or yours.
Wait, look, his vitals are stabilizing. Something's happening. He's moving.
Waking
Desmond,
up, ash
can you hear
and
me?
dust.
Son?
I know what we need to do.
I wish I could remember the Avengers theme right now. Also, yes, fun fact. So, Bill W.M. William Miles from Brotherhood, that's sending all the emails and whatnot, is our dad. Yeah, we're... Oh god, I forgot. Okay, well, you know what? Honestly, I was surprised that it was that close to the end. It was like, it felt like the last couple sequences were really, really short, but kind of makes sense for the vibe, you know? So, can't be too upset. So let's go ahead. So, end of the game, nice little thoughts and all that fun stuff. One, again, visually, very stunning. Overall, a good time, like, everything looked so pretty. We had a bunch of different backdrops. The world changed a little bit as we went through it. We unlocked so many things. Like, it felt nice to traverse around. The zip lines were a great addition. The hook blade was a great addition for making climbing easier. You know, the towers were cool. There wasn't a ton, but it was like just the right amount. I think that they added interesting depth with just having like even a fun little mini game to like protect your assassin's dens and whatnot. So overall, pretty good time. Story-wise, I think it does a good job of being the end to Ezio's story. Revelations, you know, acts as the final chapter, and it's funny because it is also a reference to like Revelations through like the religious context. So, you know, it's well thought out, and they knew like, all right, we're gonna be done with Ezio after this. Like, we've had 3 games, we get to see him finally reach something that like is a thrilling conclusion. His little speech there at the end is like genuinely beautiful, and like I said, I was like, it actually gave me chills because, you know, it's so easy to feel lost in life, right? Reconstructing island. Ooh, subject 16 not dead then? But, you know, it's so easy to just feel lost in life, to not know what you're doing, and you know, as an adult, like, I've moved around a ton and I've gone to a bunch of different places. Even over the course of my entire life, like, I've never stayed anywhere for longer than about 4 years, and you constantly start over and do things, and it's like, sometimes you ask yourself to what end, and I think that's what's interesting about this, because it pushes you to think, like, sometimes it's not about, not to be very cliche here, it's like sometimes it's not about the destination, it's the journey, and it's like Ezio ends his story knowing like there are some questions that I will literally never answer and never know. I'll never know who Desmond is, but I know that it is someone that I am speaking to through such a great span of time, much in the same way that Altair didn't know who would be coming after him to help keep the secrets in check, but you know, he reaches out to Ezio in a way, and then that is actually then passed on to us as Desmond, and it's so well done, because sometimes you don't have to know what you're doing. Sometimes it's all about just figuring out, you know, where you go, and knowing some things will remain unanswered. That's okay. We don't always get closure. We don't always get everything wrapped up in a nice little bow. And as frustrating as that can be sometimes, it's like, I think that's the beautiful part of life. It's just knowing, like, shit is not nice and simple. Never has been, never will be. Every now and again you may catch a break, but it's never quite that easy. So yeah, I was like, I think this is genuinely a really good, like, satisfying ending. I feel like so many games, especially now, also focus on the like, but if we leave it up to like a little pan, maybe you'll know that there's a new game coming out if you support us enough. And it's like, no, like, give me something that I can like sink my teeth into, and then when it's done, I'm done. I clean up, and this just goes kind of in like the little vault, and I get to think about, wow, I had a good experience with this when I was in the moment. So I think a lot could be learned about just general storytelling from this. Like, I think the Ezio trilogy is like peak golden age for Ubisoft, because I know so many games run into the issue of just being bloated and too much, but this I think is perfect as an experience. Let's see. Outside of that, you know, it was like, I think they introduced some good characters. I think it was sad that they killed off Yusuf without really giving us anything to go with. But again, you know, sometimes it was like, you don't get a simple answer, and I think that's like the common theme with Assassin's Creed, just because there's always so much more going on beneath the surface. And obviously I was like, we get a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end there for like what's going to go on in the real world, but as for Ezio's story, which is kind of more interesting to me, it's nice that we got something. So I think that makes the next game on our list Assassin's Creed 3, where we will be playing as Connor back in the Revolutionary War, I believe. Half Native, I think he's Native American, or at least half Native American, I can't remember. So, very interested to see how that goes and shapes up for us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk about with this game, because I think I said the important parts. Obviously it was like the combat's good. I think it's nice that really if you don't want to, you do not have to take any time to interface with any of the bloat. And I know bloat's normally like a bad term, but in this I was like, I just mean in the sense of like, you don't have to do anything with really your assassins all that much. You don't have to do a bunch of grinding to get good gear and weapons, because you can actually like, it's all just kind of like fun, more cosmetic stuff. And I think, again, that's why this will always have a better draw to me than something like the newer Assassin's Creed games have. Which again, I'll reserve my judgment for when I get back to them. But I was like, just having the ability to just choose what you want, I was like, you know, if I wanted a big-ass hammer, I can have a big-ass hammer. And it's just fun. It's just a tool to use to get you through the story, as opposed to being like, well, now you have to grind to make sure you're a certain level, because the level is what, you know, gates you, because you easily get your ass kicked, anyone that's not above your level, and then also, or anyone that is above your level, and then also, you know, if you want to play a certain way, like, you have to make sure you're a high enough level, or else you can't really, like, do a bunch of extra stuff. So it's like, the world serves as a great way to experience the story in this game. From my experience, from having played a little bit of like Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, it's like, it feels like the story serves as a way to get you through the world, if that makes sense. I feel like you are forced to interface with so much more, because it's like, ooh, go over here and find this collectible, ooh, go over here and find this collectible, so you like have to do all the extra stuff so you can level up, so you can then actually go through the story, whereas this is like, hey, here's a bunch of things you can do, interface with it if you want to. If you don't, we're gonna, you know, other than the tutorialization of things, we're not gonna make you do any of it. I think that's what I would prefer in an open world experience, especially because like this world is so much smaller. Now it's like I said, it just ends up being a little too much. But again, it's been probably, since I've given like a serious attempt at any of the new Assassin's Creed games, like somewhere in the 5-6 year range. Because it would have been back when I was working at like GameStop in like before COVID. So for not having really played them since then, I was like, we'll see. Because time's going by and I'm slowly but surely actually making my way there, so I know that we'll hear it, so I'm interested. I was like, we might just kind of bookmark this here and see where we end up reaching at the end, and then I can give a better answer once I actually get to my destination. But I also like the little things like this too, it's just like the whole fact that like we followed one main character from like the other world, because like I'll be honest, I could not tell you who any of the other like real world people are after Desmond. I don't know if we actually follow anyone in particular, but and like that could be an intentional choice, and if it is, then obviously I was like, I will find out when I get to the next sections. But as I was like, I remember Desmond being like big main character and all that fun stuff, and then all of a sudden it was just kind of like, I do not remember a single person after that. And it's like, you know, the whole point is the kind of storytelling taking part in two timelines, and you know, even though Desmond is kind of thrust into something, like he parallels the journey of the others, where it's yeah, like actually his kind of adventure parallels Ezio's really well, because he starts and it's not something he knows about or wants to be a part of, even though his parents are a part of the assassins, and then he goes and he tries to do his own thing, and then something happens that drags him into it, and he ends up learning and discovering a bunch just from having to be forced into it. And so it was like, as someone again who hasn't played through or finished much of the ones outside of, like, I think I've only finished Brotherhood and maybe Black Flag. I cannot remember any other ones that I have played and like gone all the way through, but I know I've played chunks of them. Because I know I've played Unity, I know I've played much different ones, so we'll kind of just see how that goes. Also, can I say, these credits are extremely long. And I don't want to, like, quit just in case. But also, sometimes it's kind of hard to rant for, you know, 10 minutes straight without anything to read off of or talk about. Like, we're going all off the dome at this point. Yeah, I was like, oh, you know. It also doesn't help that we're looking at the same 3 panning screenshots of the island. Maybe if we're lucky, I'll put actual work into doing, or into unlocking the Desmond's journey stuff. So maybe we can go back through and see what's the deal with that. No promises at all, but hey, you know what? If you've watched this far and you have an invested interest, you know, leave a comment. Let me know if that's what you want to see. Because I think I am totally fine with going on to Assassin's Creed 3 and kind of vibing, but... And, you know what? I was like, I'll leave this in here too, so in case, like, say years down the line someone sees it and then I finally get requests for it, sure, we'll do it. You can hold me to that. As long as I'm not dead, you know? It's also funny because, so in order to get this game to record, I had to run it through administrator privileges. And in order to get OBS to be able to record this game, I had to run that with administrator privileges. So that's how I got both of these work. But because I'm running the game in admin mode, I can't, it doesn't actually, or so far hasn't tracked almost at all any of the gameplay or like the time that I've played on Steam, and no achievements. Because when I first started, it was tracking things, and now it doesn't at all. So it's like, we don't even get the vibe for having done it, but I am definitely not worried about it. Christopher Yap, tool programmer. And imagine your last name being Yap. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's like, now with that being a kind of common, like, they're a Yapper. Like me, for instance, because that's all I do. But you would think for a job where I talk all day, I wouldn't want to come home and be like, let me talk more, but Jonathan Dankoff. But sometimes it's fun to just kind of like sit, vibe, and play something that you want to enjoy. And like I said, this channel has really just been a very, very good example of like, just sit down, play something, and get through your backlog. Because I have a massive backlog that I want to get through. And it's like, it may take me some time, but eventually it was like, if we chip away at it a couple of hours at a time on a, you know, daily, every couple of day basis, we'll get there. Like recently I've been thinking about it because I love the Yakuza series. That game is a huge, or that series is a huge, huge time sink. But I own every single game except for Like a Dragon Ishin. And I don't currently have a way to play Yakuza Dead Souls. But outside of that, I'm fairly certain I own every single game and spin-off game. Oh, and Pirate Yakuza. Just because I haven't purchased that yet. But I was like, I own the 2 Judgment games. I own all of the main ones. I haven't played any of the PSP ones, because I know that's also a couple of them. But any of like the mainline Yakuza series, I pretty much have everything, and then I have a bunch of the spin-offs, so I think the Yakuza series is one of the few games, or a few game series that I've actually purchased multiple times. Because I own Yakuza 0 on Steam, and then on GOG Galaxy, or on GOG, I own 1 through 6, which is just obviously Kiwami and Kiwami 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I have Like a Dragon on Steam, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. We bought Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name. It's crazy, I know way too much about so many of the games. And I've played through the entire series twice now, but so far, you know, we need to take a chance to actually play through the rest of them. Also, I was like, feel free to do a time check here, but I was like, I've been kind of looking over at my OBS, because it gives me, you know, the timer for things. I remember the first time I checked, it was about 41 minutes that we were at the credits. I'm now at 57. So, it's about, we're closing in on 20 minutes worth of credits. And it's like, there's no way to skip it. Obviously I can exit, but like, it's the one thing that bugs me with this, where it's just like, exit game, any unsaved progress will be lost. So it's like, are you gonna give me something? Because it's like, I've been spoiled for stuff like that, where they, you know, like the Marvel movies became one of the big mainstream ones to do it, where they leave you with like something interesting after the credits. So they do like their first one, make you watch and say, and then they do a second one, and then it's like, okay, you can go. So now, you know, games I feel like haven't done it as much in a while, and have been a lot more like, you can skip this actually. But sometimes you want to stick to the end because you don't know if you'll get anything special. Like, what is it? Is it Modern Warfare 2? Is it Modern Warfare 2 that's the, got like the secret level after the credits? I'm not doing anything right now, so I might as well look it up. MW2. Oh, of course that's gonna pull up, let's see. Yeah? Yes. Okay, you unlock the museum level after Modern Warfare 2 for going through the credits, and it gives you a little, like, museum is a level unlocked upon completing the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign mode, and it's also in the remastered. Contains many of the weapons and some of the vehicles featured in the game. The vehicles, however, cannot be driven, are indestructible, and not to scale. It also features many characters from the game. The level takes place in the museum in Encino, California, USA, featuring many exhibits. There are 3 rooms in the museum, 2 containing exhibits of various characters and various backdrops, and a 3rd one containing vehicles. The character exhibits are 2 showcases at the far end of the room, containing an ammo crate and various weaponry. There's one containing vehicles, does not have a showcase of weaponry. Instead, they contain some miniature vehicles encountered during the game. But my favorite is like, so they give you buttons like yeah, so basically it lets you actually like just kind of view all those things, and then if you push a button you can fight them all. But now that we are finally done with our 20 minutes of credits, I'm gonna call it there. And next time you see me will be for Assassin's Creed 3, probably. So, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the support and just people putting the time to see whatever the fuck I'm doing. It's been fun. I've been enjoying going back through some kind of, sadly, what are now considered classic games, and excited to keep going through all of them with you guys. So, if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, leave a like on the video, and I will see you in the next one.